So what's happening, everyone? It's me again, Courtney, doing my UFC predictions for UFC 110, which will take place on Saturday, the 20th of February 2010 at the Acer Arena in Sydney, Australia. Main event on the card is Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira versus Cain Velasquez. Nogueira, Minotauro, Big Nog, 32-5, 1 record, 6'3". This guy's durable, strong, got 6 submissions, decent boxing as well. Doesn't throw too many kicks, but doesn't need to really. He was a former Pride heavyweight champion, the former UFC interim champion, the Mickey Mouse McDonald belt, whatever you want to call it. His last 5 fights, he's had 4 wins and 1 loss. And his last fight, he beat Randy Couture via decision. That was a very good fight. I like that fight a lot. I was surprised that Nogueira couldn't finish Randy with the submissions that he had on. But yeah, that's Antonio Nogueira. He's fighting Cain Velasquez, who fights out of the American Kickboxing Academy. He's an undefeated fighter, 9-0 record or 10-0 record, I'm not sure. 6'3". This guy is fast. Very fast for heavyweight. Very fast for anything. If people like John Fitch, Mike Swick and Josh Koscheck can't keep up with this guy in the gym, what does that say to the rest of the heavyweight division? This guy's quick, very quick, agile, good hands, great wrestling. In his last 5 fights, obviously he's won all 5 of them, 4 via TKO, 1 via decision. In his last fight, he beat Ben Rothwell, and I actually picked Ben Rothwell to win that fight because I didn't think Velasquez could deal with the varied things that Rothwell would come with because he's so experienced, but that was not the case. Cain Velasquez didn't see my video, he just ran and just battered him. Although he didn't necessarily finish him off, knock him out or anything, but he just stopped him with strikes. But for this fight, I think Nogueira will be able to take the beating. If you want to see Nogueira take a beating, check him versus Bob Sapp in Pride. That's a beating. He took a massive beating there and he still came out and won. And I think the same might be of this fight. He might take a beating at some points in the fights, even in the guard, but I still think he'll win. So I'm picking Nogueira to win that fight. Next fight on the card is Wanderlei Silva versus Michael the Count Bisping. Wanderlei Silva's got a 32-10-1 record. He's 5'11". When you know what, have a look in a dictionary, in any dictionary, and look at the word violence, and you'll see a picture of Wanderlei Silva next to that word violence. This guy is so aggressive, very aggressive. What do they call him in Brazil? I can't remember what the Portuguese saying is, but they call him Mad Dog, basically, the axe murderer. This guy is one of my personal favourite fighters. He's got a sick Muay Thai. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Although he's not been showing his ground skills or anything else in the UFC, I still think he's good. I like him. If I show anyone MMA, I show them Wanderlei Silva first, because it's just violence, and that's what gets him in. Then you show him the other fighters with the technique and everything. But yeah, in Wanderlei Silva's last 5 fights, he's had 1 win, 4 losses. The 1 win came against Keith Jardine, rape, choke and batter, which I love that. But anyway, he's fighting Michael Bisping, who's got an 18-2 record, 6'2". Bisping's got a very good technique, very good hands, puts his kickboxing together well. His wrestling is improving but not as good, but I don't think there'll be a factor in this fight. His cardio is weird. Sometimes he'll be on, sometimes he'll be off. His last 5 fights, he's had 4 wins and 1 loss. In his last fight, he beat Dennis Kang via TKO, which I didn't see happen. I thought Kang would win. And Bisping came through and showed true grit and determination, like us Brits do, and got through it and won. This is a fight at middleweight, so it's Wanderlei's first cut to this weight properly, I think. But being a Brit, I'm sorry, Bisping, I can't. If he wasn't fighting, I know he'd pick Wanderlei Silva. So I'm picking Wanderlei Silva. And Wanderlei Silva to win that fight via violence. Look it up in the dictionary. Violence, Wanderlei. Next fight on the card is Joe Daddy Stevenson versus George Sotiropoulos. Joe Daddy is 31, got a 31-10 record. He's 5'7". I think he's still training with Greg Jackson's camp. He's got a sick gorilla monkey grip guillotine. I want to learn that. Got some mad grip. His cardio and his striking is improving. I mean, in his last fight against Spencer Fisher, he just pinned him to the floor and just started elbowing his head off. Just killed him. But yeah, I like Jody Stevenson a lot. Great grappler. If you want to see him grappling, check out Grappler's Quest. They've got a channel on here somewhere. In his last 5 fights, he's had 3 wins, 2 losses. Obviously, as I said earlier, he beat Spencer Fisher in his last fight. But yeah, that's Joe Stevenson. Very good, very good. He's fighting George Sotiropoulos, who's 5'10". He's got 11-2 record. Interesting fact, he's never been finished. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I think he is anyway. But he's an Abu Dhabi veteran. He's got good hands. In his last 5 fights, he's won all of them. 4 by submission and 1 by TKO. In his last fight against Jason Dent, he submitted him via, I think it was some horrible armbar. But yeah, it was against Jason Dent. But for this fight, I'm going to pick Joe Stevenson. I think Stevenson's going to probably do the same way, go into his guard, pass the guard, and start killing him with elbows and everything else to go with it. So I'm picking Joe Stevenson to win that fight. Joe Stevenson to win that fight. Sorry, Sotiropoulos, I know you're at home and everything, but I think Stevenson's going to do that. Next fight on the card is Ryan Bader versus Keith the Dean of me, Techno Viking Dancing Machine Jardine. Ryan Bader is an undefeated fighter, 6'2". He's won the Ultimate Fighter, very strong. I've not really watched too many of his fights because to be honest, I'm not really interested. Not interested in him, just like because he's won the Ultimate Fighter, so I'm not bothered to watch him. And but he's very strong. He's quite big and he's well muscly as well. Obviously, he's won his last 5 fights. Although in his last fight he's had 3 decisions in his last 5 fights. And in his last fight, he beat Eric Schaefer and he had problems finishing him. And then he got caught in a few subs as well. But he's fighting Keith, the Dean of Mean, the Techno Viking Dancing Machine Jardine, 6'2". He's got a 15-6 record. The herky jerky fighter, really awkward to fight, although he has got really good leg kicks. Needs to learn to keep his hands up. Helen Back MMA actually pointed that out to me. I did realise, but I didn't think about it too much. But yeah, follow them on Twitter, Helen Back MMA. In his last 5 fights, he's had 2 wins and 3 losses. But yeah, he just gets battered every time. Every time I think he's going to do something, he just gets battered. But for this fight, I'm going to pick Ryan Bader to win via TKO or KO. The last fight on the card is Mirko Krokop versus Ben Rothwell. Everyone knows about Krokop, 25-7-2 record. Sick left high kick. Not great. Doesn't put the combos together with his hands, but he's a really good leg kicker. A really good. Keeps the distance and everything. In his last 5 fights, he's had 3 wins and 2 losses. And he's fighting Ben Rothwell, who's the IFL veteran. He's fought all these people. Rico Rodriguez, Andre Arlovsky. He's got a 30-7 record. He's 6'5". But you know what, I'll just cut it short. I think Krokop's going to do him. Left high kick to the head. Well placed. And he'll be out cold. But anyway, those were my picks, my opinions. Follow me on Twitter with the same username, chokewho. Peace.